brought in by the New England Patriots for a look-see. Do you think this is typical Bill Belichick gamesmanship? Or I don't know that they need a running back or a quarterback right now, but they brought him in. What's going on? Have you ever been brought in?
I was never brought in. Yeah. No, not on a spying mission. Yeah. But particularly about the Patriots, they are always going to bring guys in. Montee Ball was second-round pick. Let's see what this guy has. See if he can possibly fit our system.
Should tell everybody, the Broncos and Patriots are playing November 29th.
Right. And so to bring in a running back who knows the offense, you would think would know the offense pretty well, a backup quarterback who you think would know the offense pretty well, I would never put that past Bill Belichick to try to gain some additional information. But if you look at the Patriots tryout list every Tuesday, it's always going to be very long. They probably lead the league in the tryout list because those bottom 5 guys on the roster, he considers those to be such a flexible thing. You can be on this week and be off next week because this guy fits our scheme better.
It also would be interesting to go back and see if those guys that they bring in every week that you're talking about primarily are from teams that are on the roster or on the schedule upcoming. You played for the New England Patriots. We know about all the other tricks of their trade, if you will, including taking, which still doesn't get much play, but taking eligible receivers and making them ineligible, and the rule had to be changed as a result of the Patriots. But would you put that past the New England Patriots, though? When you were there, did you ever meet a guy who played offense and you ask him a few questions about the team that he played for?
Yeah. No, they never had a former player stand up and give a presentation to the defensive meeting room.
To your teams?
That never happens. The coaches may pull them aside and say, hey, we got some questions about this. How did you guys use this audible? What was the purpose of this? But never, a guy presenting his thoughts to the team.
Is it you who called it industrial espionage?
That's what I
like that.
Yeah.
I'd even go a step further. I think they bring him in and they waterboard him. I think they extract as much information as possible.
And don't sign him?
Illegal means. I mean, that's the Patriots.
Okay.
Use illegal means to get the information.
Now, let me say something, though.
You hate how many times? Rip on the Patriots,
no, it's not the Patriots. Yeah. But how many times have you, on every single football play, someone screws up from both teams? So guys who are practicing all week long, been there all year long, they can't execute their own plays. So as a coach, you're Bill Belichick, you're going to trust the information of some guy who was cut to explain to your team this information when your own guys on your own team can't run your own plays well.
Except, Chad, I've got to argue with you on this, that if a guy comes in and you go, talk to me about the terminology that Peyton Manning uses. I mean, when you were practicing, what cadence did he like to maybe throw in every
what
once
does
in a while?
Omaha mean?
Well, we know what Omaha means.
No, you know what
the play's coming. But when you lined up and you went outside and there was a 5-receiver set, where did they usually go? Because I think you've watched a lot more football than I have, that whenever I see a team line up 3 guys on one side, I'm always looking that they're going to throw on the other side. That would be if I were a defensive coach, I would go, that's what they're setting us up. We got a tight end and 3 wide receivers over there. They're immediately going to go to the other side.
It's always a backslide slant, yes.
So I just wondered that you're saying, well, yeah, they won't get much out of it. Nobody has ever called you in and said, here's some things to look for that we have found out this week. You've never had that happen.
No. Trust the film study. Trust the game tape. Not trust some guy who was released in the preseason. What can he really tell me?
Zach Dysert has spent 3 years with the Broncos. You don't think he's got a wealth of? You don't think
and learn
that
the principles of Gary Kubiak's offense.
You're telling me when I use the word.
There's 20 years of Gary Kubiak tape out there. I'll trust that.
Okay, but when I said industrial espionage, that if you work for Sprint and AT&T steals you away, there's nothing you're going to get out of that guy to work for Sprint?
Okay, to your point about the audibles and some language, some communication, that would be thing. But trying to get this guy to draw the playbook, no, I've got 20 years of Gary Kubiak tape. I can look at that.
Well, yeah. Here's the other thing. They don't play till November 29th. You might be able to cull 1 or 2 things from these guys, but you're going to trust the tape. We're still 2.5 months away from that game. There's going to be a lot of tape between now and then.
You don't think that Belichick Jr. is sitting there?
Joshy?
Yeah. That he is.
Bill's son works with the team, so
there's
he's a coach
guy,
now.
We saw it here, that he was into his own set of trickery too. and used it against his old team. I find that hard to believe. All the years you spent in the league, that we just had a guy from Detroit. Are we getting that question later? We just had a player from Detroit say, I've now had 3 different teams tell me that they know what our signals are, what our plays are, what our formations are. Mm-hmm. You really didn't go into game going, I know when they line up.
Oh yeah, but it was based on film study. It wasn't based on
nobody ever told you.
It wasn't based on them bringing in that wide receiver that week, and somehow this guy's going to be able to download his brain into the defensive staff and move and teach the guys that quickly. It doesn't work that way.
Let's